Hi, it's Karina again from the Faculty of Law at the University of Wollongong. And hopefully over the last few weeks, you've started to gain an understanding of what it's like to study law. Perhaps even in the back of your mind, you might have started thinking maybe going to university and getting a law degree might be something that you want to consider. I hope that's the case. If nothing else, I really hope that you're finding the program interesting, and I'm sure that you've learnt something that will be useful. If you are thinking about coming and studying a law degree, I wanted to talk a little bit to you today about what some of the things that you might be able to do with that law degree once you've finished. Certainly some of the things that our graduates have gone on to do with the rest of their lives. So I guess we start the idea of where can a law degree take you. Obviously, firstly, you need to come to university. And in the last lecture I gave you, I did talk a little bit about what that's like. So I did mention that if you come to the University of Wollongong, in your first year, we put you in what's called first year pods. And what that does is actually mean that you're in a group of 18 to 20 students who are like you, brand new to university and interested in studying law. You'll work with those small group of students to actually get an understanding of the different subjects. So as you're doing in the program at the moment, you're learning a bit about contract law. Contract law is one of the first subjects that you undertake at university. You'll also do criminal law. So you get a little bit of an understanding about the courts and the criminal justice system and what does it mean to commit a crime? How do you intentionally commit a crime? Can you unintentionally commit a crime? These are all the things that you'll learn in first year, as well as a better understanding of the basic Australian legal system, the structure, and how all the different arms of the legal system work together. Once you get through that first year or two of those core subjects where you get a solid understanding of what the legal system is, you actually get to move on to electives. You start to choose, similar to at high school, the sorts of things that you're interested in. So it might be because you have a real passion for something, or it might be because you have an idea of what you'd like to do after you finish university with your law degree. Perhaps if it interests you to go and perhaps be a barrister or someone who works in the courts, and you want to represent or defend criminals or you want to prosecute them, you might find a study in advanced criminal law something that's useful. Otherwise, if you're going to be a solicitor, many solicitors find that the advice that they give clients is often about family-related issues. So you might want to do family law, so you have a better understanding about the rules of marriage and divorce. Perhaps you have a real passion for the environment and you're hoping to do something with your law degree to make a positive change to the world. You might want to undertake environmental law. And certainly we have a few graduates that have been involved in such things as climate change policy and trying to make a real positive difference to our world. Otherwise, you might think that a law degree is a stepping stone to moving overseas and working overseas, and certainly many of our graduates have. If that's the case, you might be interested in international law studies. Otherwise, some electives are simply just because you want to look at a new area of the law. One of our popular electives is called Law and Popular Culture, and what they look at there is things like Batman, Superman, superheroes. What do these images of the law in fairy tales and movies and stories mean to society's understanding of justice? So you have lots of options with your law degree. You look at a whole lot of different legal areas, and you have really quite a few years to decide what you want to do next. Maybe once you've finished your law degree, you decide that what you want to do next is to be a lawyer. If you remember back to some of my previous lectures, we talked about that traditional idea of a lawyer being a solicitor, sitting in an office advising clients about legal issues, or a barrister, somebody who goes on to represent in court. If you want to be either a solicitor or in fact a barrister, there's actually a small qualification that you need to get at the end of your law degree. So you finish your law degree and you do a short 6-month course that helps you understand some of the more practical things you need to know about being a solicitor or a barrister. If you study at the University of Wollongong, in fact, we let some of our students do that small qualification at the end of their law degree. So you can do it concurrently and get out of university a little bit more quickly. But in fact, many people, as we've talked about over the last few weeks, do a whole lot of other things with their law degree. We mentioned Julia Gillard has a law degree, Peter Garrett, politicians that have gone on to do something different with the skills and knowledge that they've gained from a law degree. We certainly talked about, Charlie Pickering and Sean McAuliffe and other comedians, Chaz from The Chaser, they all have law degrees, and they're people that have gone on to do other things. I guess some of the things that some of our law graduates have gone on to be, we've had students go on to be diplomats in other countries, so working in foreign aid areas. We have a number of graduates work in local Australian government departments, so helping to make and shape policy. We have had a recent graduate working in the area particularly that's quite topical on the boat people. And so they were helping to make decisions and shape policy about those really topical current issues. We also have a number of our graduates who decide that really what they wanted to do with their law degree is to make a difference to people that really need help. And so we have a number of our law students that go on to work for welfare and sort of different legal rights centres. We have a couple of our law graduates that have gone on to work for the Australian Climate Justice Program, and what they've done is again be involved in the discussion on climate change and trying to work out environmentally sustainable options for Australia and in fact the world. Other than in a strict sort of law area, because often students do a combined degree where they study law as well as another degree such as commerce, we have a lot of our graduates that have gone on to banking, merchant banking, CEOs of companies. In fact, many have actually started up their own companies. We have people that have started up their own media companies, their own marketing companies, their own consulting companies. So there's so many different options. We have a number of our graduates, including myself, that teach at universities around the world. So being a legal academic might be something that's possible for you after your law degree. We in fact even have one graduate who works for Google. So you can see that the options that a law degree creates for you are endless and amazing, and it's really up to you what you want to do. Because the good thing about studying a law degree is that it really does give you those skills for life. As you've been learning through the program, you will see that certainly your problem skills are developing. You're having to think about the scenarios that are presented to you, and you're having to work out how can we solve this. Your communication skills are hopefully developing, where you're talking to the other students, and your end project is going to have to be a little bit of a presentation where you're negotiating with people around the outcome to a dispute. All of these skills are really useful no matter what you decide to do with them. So that's why a law degree often sets people up no matter what they're thinking to do in the long term. The great part about having an understanding of the legal system is that if nothing else, it helps you with your own decisions about, do I sign this contract? What happens if I engage in this type of behaviour? Am I potentially going to end up with a criminal record? It's great to have a solid understanding. So even if you don't want to do a law degree, sometimes students who do commerce or arts or even engineering do some components of law so that they have an understanding of the law and they really are learning these skills for life. So hopefully I've got you thinking about, really, what will you do with your law degree? And maybe one day in a few years, I might see you at the University of Wollongong. Good luck with the rest of your studies, and I hope we've really helped you have a passion for law and learn something new and interesting.